We are live. We're back.
We're back, Evan. It's number 144. My cup of tea.
With every increasing number, I'm more shocked that we're sitting here doing the same thing.
Should we reboot?
144 episodes. We should reboot, like the Marvel comics. Just reboot every year. See if you get new audiences. If you just reboot it.
The new My Cup of 52.
Yeah. How about we can reboot instead of My Cup of Tea, be My Cup of coffee or something,
I'm shutting everything down. We're doing the fucking cinema podcast. The horror podcast.
The horror podcast is part of our lore. Will it happen? Probably not. But it's part of our lore. If you guys have watched 144 episodes, you've heard us talk about it.
Yeah. I'm so desperate to put it out somewhere. There's a poster on a character's wall in Time Blazer.
Nice. Well, Time Blazer is an alternate universe, so there is that. But we're here, 144. Quite the stacked episode today, going over a number of episodes here. We talked about Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man last week, talking about episode 1 and 2. This week we got episodes 3 through 5, 3 episodes of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And not just that, 3 episodes of Invincible season 3. Nathan is caught up. We finally we haven't really talked a lot about Invincible on the air. I think season 2, I think we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you were catching up then. So yeah, it'll be fun to finally talk in depth about Invincible season 3, which I think is starting off very hot. And then last week we got some big trailers with Thunderbolts happened on Super Bowl Sunday. Jurassic Park was this past week as well. It was a dry movie week. Oh yeah, I forgot about the X-Men news. So let's start off with that. Actually,
yeah,
I can pull that off. It's always fun starting off with some rumors. That's our bread and butter on this podcast. Good old rumor mill. And Spider-Man? Jeff Snyder. The Spider-Man rumors were a great time. 2020, what was that? 2021. Yeah, I don't know. Let me share my screen.
Every day I wake up and Spider-Man's in the multiverse. Bringing that back into 2025.
Did they change the share screen? No, they didn't. Never mind. Here we go. Ugh. Do you see what I see?
The star. I don't know.
We just got copyrighted.
Oh no.
But Jeff Snyder's reporting, not a lot of people corroborating this rumor yet because it is a hot rumor. It's an early casting report, and usually those rumors don't get corroborated until closer to the film starting. And as we see, this is Julia Butters from upcoming Freakier Friday. But I know her. Most people know her from. She was a little girl in what's it called? The Quentin Tarantino movie. What was it called?
Oh wait, this is the girl from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes. Whoops.
Yeah, she was also in The Fabelmans.
She was in Fabelmans? Who was she in Fabelmans? Was she a sister?
Yeah, she was a sister of Sammy.
Wow. I did not know that. Okay, awesome. Holy shit. Wow. Nice pull, Nathan.
I was like, I recognize her, but I don't.
I did not know that. So yeah, Fabelmans, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, she was the person having that, very awesome conversation with Leonardo DiCaprio when he was in the bar during that one filming sequence. They had a great back and forth. So yeah, Abby talked about it. Fabelmans, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She is very young. I think she is. I don't know. She's a teenager now because Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is 6 years ago now. Holy crap!
She was an itty bitty child.
So that was 6. She was probably 10 during that, maybe younger. What is she? 16 now? 15, 14?
Maybe 12.
Maybe. I hate you. I could just look it up too, by the way. But yeah, so what do you think about this casting? If it, early casting, this could probably change by tomorrow. But as of right now, what do you think about this rumor? Do you think it should be a fun Kitty Pryde?
Absolutely. I think this is a stellar idea, not just for the casting, but also following a character like Kitty Pryde and the younger X-Men just being our like spearheads of the school experience of Xavier's home.
Dude, I couldn't agree more. She's 15, by the way. So when this X-Men movie comes out, we'll get to the release date in a second. Should be probably around 17, 18. But yeah, I really like this idea that as we keep on talking about with the X-Men, and I hope they stick with this, like the whole school idea. I really want that whole school aesthetic. I want that Harry Potter in the MCU aesthetic where kids are going to school, shit gets crazy, but they're still having to go to school. Should we close down the school? Fuck should I know? Harry Potter. Every movie is like, should we close down the school? Maybe, maybe not.
Some of these children have nowhere to go.
Exactly. What are we gonna do? Think of the children. And then the teachers get sacked. But yeah,
Dumbledore's like, I gotta go think about this.
Yeah, peace out. Professor McGonagall, goodbye. But yeah, anyways, yeah, I like the school aesthetic. And for certain characters, I think a lot of the rumors is that like Jean Grey and Scott might be a little older. I know there were some people saying that like the girl from Stranger Things could be a fun Jean Grey. I don't know if that was a rumor now or if that was just like an actual
Sadie Sink.
Sadie Sink, yeah. I don't know if that was like an actual thing. I don't know if that was Jeff Snyder or somebody. But I'm like, Sadie Sink was like getting on the older side as well. So I'm not sure. But either way, whether it's like Jean and Scott are like teachers and then people like Kitty are a bit younger, that'll be fine by me too. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, following up to that, Jeff did tweet out hours later that I'm hearing that X-Men is shooting next year, 2026, for a 2027 release. This means official casting news is coming probably in the next few months. Maybe he's teasing CinemaCon could be a thing. I doubt it. CinemaCon is like, I don't think Disney or Marvel announced stuff like 2 years in advance at CinemaCon. CinemaCon is for, people who are unaware. It's for cinema producers. What are they going to be excited for this year mainly? Maybe some stuff from next year, but it's mostly stuff that's coming out in 2025. So I doubt we'll get any X-Men stuff in 2025 or at CinemaCon this year. But what do you think about this 2027 release date? We talked about last week how there are 3 MCU release dates in 2027. We have May, which is Secret Wars in 2027. But then we have that July date, which is blank. And we have a November date, which is blank. One of those dates could be an X-Men film. Fantastic Four is coming out. Brand new MCU team from Fox coming out July 2025. Could we see a brand new Fox X-Men team come out July 2027? The first film post Secret Wars? That'd be very fun.
Yeah, well, probably not Fox anymore, but
I'm just saying that the connection.
Yeah. Well, I think that would make sense. I think any form of brand new casting X-Men stuff that we're going to be following is probably going to be all post Secret Wars, which makes sense in terms of just laying the groundwork. Like, yes, there are mutants now in this new age that we are in, because we're probably going to get a nice little timeline rewrite by when all is said and done. So yeah, I think that makes the most sense. In regards to it being 2027, I think that could definitely fit. But the fact that there is yet to be, I'm sure there will be soon, but an official announcement of what the project is, what the title is, we get to know what that is. Like if it's going to be called X-Men, if it's just like mutants, whatever it may be.
What was the first X-Men movie called? Was it just called X-Men as well? It's just X-Men. Okay.
2000, but without the 2000.
Oh yeah, I think of like Pokemon 2000.
There's a lot of wild titles. X-Men, X2, X-Men 3, but the Wolverine's claws are the 3.
X2 is wild to me. Like it's not even called X-Men 2. It's just like X2. X-Men
X2
United.
X-Men United. Yeah.
Weird.
And then all the X-Men titles and whatnot. X-Men Origins.
Oh, not again. But I've always been thinking like, Fantastic Four first steps into a larger new world. Spider-Man Homecoming. Like this could be like X-Men Rebirth or all new X-Men. I wouldn't be surprised. I love the all new X-Men run. So That'd be cool.
X-Men freshman.
X-Men freshman. That'd be fun. What was the? So we have
For
all
X-Men.
new X-Men. Extraordinary X-Men, is that a thing? Extraordinary X-Men.
I think so. X-Men Evolution is a great title.
X-Men Evolution is a great title with a great fucking series. I love that series so much. That'd be a fun thing to watch on stream.
Yeah. Never seen it.
You never seen X-Men Evolution? My childhood? The reason I fell in love with X-Men?
You dare stand before me?
Let me put X-Men Evolution on here. How have we not watched Avatar 2 yet? Man.
How have we not done we rolled the wheel to do our next series and we haven't done it.
We have not followed it.
I didn't do my birthday stream. We fell off a Terrifier. Your fault.
My fault. The first one was hard to watch, Nathan.
Yeah, but we're gonna get into the lore.
I don't care about a fucking clown lore.
Yes, you do.
Do I?
I think.
What are you reading my thoughts? Fucking Jean Grey motherfucker over here.
Sure am.
But yeah, I like the idea of this being the first film after Secret Wars, or there could be a film in between. I always thought X-Men would come out first, like 2028. I think it would be a year after Secret Wars, but like Feige starting it up in 2027 wouldn't necessarily surprise me either. And again, we're just looking for what Marvel films could fill up that spot in 2026 and 2027. There's still no November date for next year, if there ever will be one. And then next year we have Doomsday. So, I was going to ask, final question, I guess. Is there a shot we get any of these? If there's rumors of casting in 2025, is there a shot we get some X-Men characters showing up in Secret Wars or maybe even Doomsday? Like, at the end of Days of Future Past, we saw like open the door, and then you see the mansion or whatever. Like, could we see something like that, like a 5-second scene? Like, I don't know.
I think like the most logical thing that they're gonna do, because it's already kind of in the wheelhouse they're going for, is we're gonna have all the original Fox characters cast and whatnot in the main movie events. And then once the final established timeline is set that we're going to be following in the future of these installments in the franchise, we're going to be like kind of like how Tony gave the epilogue with his speech at the end of Endgame. We're looking at the different parts of the world of the MCU and where all the characters are. We're going to get that again with somebody relaying a speech talking about the world and our futures and whatnot. We're going to be like viewing different parts of the world. It's like the Avengers over here, Young Avengers here, Spider-Man swinging off, and then we'll get like a little view of the X-Mansion. We'll probably get like whoever's like playing Charles like rolling out on the chair or something like that.
Just rolling out,
not like as a spotlight, but just like existing within like we'll see like kids walking around like this big mansion area, and we'll like go through, and then you'll just see like the bald head and be like, oh shit, it begins.
I would really like that. It's cheesy as hell, but like it's pure like nice. It's sentimental. It's pure like comic booky, where it's like, hey, this is what people are doing, and it's like, yeah, if they had, I think by 2027, by the time we see Secret Wars, they will have cast the new Professor Charles. So I think we don't even see just a bald head. I think we see like whoever they cast, whether it's James McAvoy again or whatever. How wild would it be if it's James McAvoy again? Like, that would be awesome.
That would be wild. That's the thing, is like they are older now than when they played their younger parts, but if they're just like headed into playing the older versions of themselves, that ain't bad.
That works.
Because God damn it, if we got Michael Fassbender back as Magneto, we would be set for life.
We would be great. I know this is hypocritical of me, because I'm always
because you're always like, there's no other Green Goblin.
I know. But those two are just in a league of their own. Like, they're in a league of their own. James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, that dynamic is peak. Picture perfect. Like, wow. That is amazing. So I would ultimately like acquiesce emotionally to that casting decision. Having said that, I'm leaning right now 60-40 that they just completely clean slate everything. So we'll get a new Charles, new Magneto. We already know we're getting a new Wolverine. eventually as well. Even though I keep on saying, they're casting Kitty Pryde, we should cast Daphne Keene as X-23 in the first iteration of this X-Men team. She should be, speaking of like all new X-Men, Brian Michael Bendis brought back all new X-Men that came from the past. They went to the present. You had younger version of Cyclops, Jean Grey, whatever. In that run, it was around the same time that X-23 was very popular. So in certain issues, she would join their team. So you would see Iceman teaming up with X-23, and then she had a romance with one of the characters. I forget, was it Angel? But Laura was like infatuated with some of the X-Men, and of course she went on her own eventually as well. But since then, X-23, Laura Keene, Wolverine now, she's teamed up a lot of the time with these new X-Men characters. So yeah, I would just really I would like for Daphne Keene to show up as well. But yeah, that's it for rumor mill stuff. Whoop, did you hear me? Yeah. But that's it for rumor mill stuff. Let's go watch the trailer, Nathan. Let's pull up some trailers.
Right. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, there we go. There you
go. Which trailer do you want to start with?
So yeah, we're gonna be watching Jurassic World. Which one are we watching first? Which one are you pulling up first?
That's what I just asked you twice. Did you hear me? Can you hear me? Evan? You pranking me?
I'm sorry. I'm like freezing up a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm just freezing up a little bit. I don't know what's going on here.
Okay.
Let me leave the studio.
Yeah,
If the upload stay, I leave.
I think it's like cuts into two, but it'll be fine. We don't really like download these.
Oh, cool.
All right. Let's take a break, everybody. Hello.
What's up? I'm back.
All good?
All good.
Hopefully, we did it, Joe.
Yeah. I came back. I was like, is Nathan gone too?
Yeah, I was like, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. All right, well, we're already talking in the Marvel wheelhouse. Let's go over to Thunderbolts.
Let's do Thunderbolts. I think it's almost as long as Jurassic World trailer.
I think so. Evan, is this like the 4th or 5th trailer? Am I crazy?
No, it feels like it. I think we saw that second one so many times. I think it's just the 3rd trailer. We saw a teaser. we saw the longer one with playing in theaters, and then you have this. I think I'm not sure.
Yeah, there was like a long one. There was like one with like rapid fire all the names, like a special preview clip look thing.
Yeah, I think that was like the first one we saw. I'm not sure. But yeah,
Well,
it's been a minute, but this one's cool. I think this is like, I don't know if it's my favorite, but I think we've gotten consecutively good trailers from this movie.
yeah, totally. So we got a cube right here, New York skyline. Let's go.
Let's talk facts. The Avengers are
He's
not
spitting
coming.
facts, y'all.
Who will keep
Immediately, we're talking about Avengers, which
the
is
American
crazy.
people safe?
Wow.
There's some big threat out
This
there.
kind of lines up with seeing like
You, I'm gonna help
Avengers
Wait,
teases in Cap and this movie.
I love that guy.
So none of us comply? So what, we all just punch and shoot? I can't think of a
I like how they're like talking
work
about
together.
the craziness of this mission, who they're going up against.
Totally.
Where are you?
It's gonna be a fun
Everyone here has
dynamic.
done bad things.
Great music choices for both their trailers.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's like your mind is somewhere else.
That's gonna be like the first scene in the movie. With yelling at.
I'll live with it forever.
This could get messy.
They've been hyping up this whole Gray City battle.
You thought you were going to be some great saviors? You can't even save yourself.
I'm very excited for Sentry
We
here,
can't do this.
Oh, yeah.
or the Void, I
No
guess.
one
they're calling
here is a hero.
Lena, when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes.
it. I'm getting red flags. It's Red Guardian, guys.
Stop it.
Okay, that was really good.
We are the Thunderbolts.
Can't call ourselves.
No
that.
Taskmaster in any of these shots is hilarious.
Yeah, that's the red flag.
She's so dead.
This has makings of team that can raise to glory. Bring light from the darkness.
Very like 80s. Like this is really cool.
This team can be the heroes on the Wheaties box
The Wheaties box.
with a little giddy toy.
What is that? That's crazy.
Alexi, have you slept?
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
I'd like not to die today, so maybe somebody else should be driving.
Right on. Yeah, man, that looks fun.
It looks
Everyone doubted.
fun. People are still doubting, and I don't think this is going to be like the best thing ever. I don't think this is going to be like, oh, the return to the MCU. But I've always been happy for this. You know, what we've seen from this movie. Even though it's weird, we're getting like two major action sequences. The whole gray New York battle, which let me just say, you know, the MCU is known for like being just gray and not really that colorful in general. But this whole scene right here, the shadowy Sentry / apparently the Void character doing that to people, that's like really funny and weird and just really cool.
What is this? Are they
What
just being banished to the Shadow Realm, or are they obliterated?
I guess so. So that's very exciting. I think they keep teasing his character too. We haven't really seen a lot of Bob / Sentry / the Void, but he seems to be stumbling in this whole dark entity. I've heard some people compare it to like Jujutsu Kaisen and their like domain expansions. But it's like creating this, you know, alternate reality where, you know, full of darkness or whatever. And I like how they're talking about it. Like, what are we gonna do? Just punch and shoot him? Like, he's incredibly stronger than us. But going from like anime influences here, he's not gonna be defeated by their brawn at all. I think somebody's gonna have to talk him out of it or something like that. I think that'll be like his weakness, like his emotionality, or at least some kind of sentimental connection or some kind of words really get to him. Because I think a lot of these characters in this movie, not even I think, they are, they have been like part of experiments, super soldier serum experiments. Yelena was like bred for this, not experiment, but she was just like, used by her own government. These people have all been used by their people above them. And I think Sentry is exactly that, just in a stronger form. So using like the mental game aspect of it, I think they'll like talk him out of it. It sounds cheesy and weird and like, they just talk him out of it, but I think that could work because he's just flinging Red Guardian. Can that be his death, Nathan?
No,
it's not. But
can Cap survive a fall from a? Maybe not. He can die from bullets.
He would die. Like if somebody dropped him from like that tall high rise, he's so dead.
Yeah.
But then we saw like in Cap Winter Soldier, he fell like what, a 10-story building with the shield.
Well,
like that was quite the fall.
The shield helped.
The shield definitely helped. Yeah.
Florence given Oscar-worthy acting and anything.
What a surprise! Florence is gonna be the best performer in this movie. I think even Sebastian Stan said so. Like she is phenomenal in this movie. So
I am cracking up every time I see John Shields bent.
I keep not realizing that. When did that happen? How does that happen?
Probably fighting Sentry, being honest.
Oh boy, yeah. What is his shield made out of? Do we know?
It's not vibranium. No, he made it himself. I think it's like a strong metal, but it's still just normal.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that sequence where he's making it himself, and like in the Cap.
It was a penultimate episode post credit, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we have the old Avengers Tower here. We knew it was coming, Pete.
I hate that you always say that, but
am I wrong?
No, you're not.
It looks like it's under renovation. I think
it's been under renovation for like 20 years.
It has, but I think like someone pointed out, like there is a specific like tower that gets built from the comics that has like a lot of like intense architecture from it that I was reading and like I was just Twitter reply, so grain of salt, but it's like a big like wide structure that's so obtuse, but it's like a structure that only Sentry himself can see.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'd have to like look at that again, but that would be interesting. Do we feel Sentry will go good again, or will he just be fallen villain? That's it.
Misunderstood villain, because again, he's being used, created, experimented on by Julia Louis-Dreyfus's Val character. My idea, because as we see in the beginning of this trailer, he's turning people to like putty on the cement. Like that's incredibly powerful. I think they'll do some kind of mental, again, going back to the mental thing of it all. They'll keep him out of Secret Wars and Doomsday because he seems so powerful. Like this is so powerful. What's Doomsday doing against this guy?
There's been jokes going around on Twitter that's like, oh, I'm so excited that we're bringing Sentry back since he was last appeared in 2012's Avengers. I was like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Because I guess there's a thing in the comics that like Sentry was a part of big comic events, but like I guess his involvement was erased from everybody's memory. I don't think they're gonna do that here, but like that is like an amusing concept of like Sentry's always been around.
He's always been here.
Isn't that like they did a gag like that in the MCU, didn't they? Or no, we just remember the like Jake Gyllenhaal in the Civil War scene.
Oh god,
that's so funny.
Barf. That was goofy. But yeah, Doomsday seems so powerful, so I think he eventually will be turned good here by the end of this movie. But I don't think he'll be like, I'm good and let me join the Avengers kind of thing. I think they'll keep him away for some reason, or he'd be like, let me go off somewhere, or let me do something else or something or whatever. But he seems so powerful. I'm like, I don't think Doomsday or any of the people we see in those movies be a threat to him. I say, but I have no idea how this movie ends, so I could be surprised.
I love the shot of Bucky every time I see it in the trailer.
That's so cool.
So
that's because of the vibranium arm, right? His other arm couldn't do that.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, he is a super soldier, but like, his other arm will probably get so scraped.
Yeah.
Boom.
I wonder if he knew he could do that when he did that.
So they're headed into the Shadowlands here.
Yeah, they're going to the Shadow Realm. Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! Reference there.
It's time to
into the Shadow Realm.
That
That should also be part of our commentary. Just watch all of Yu-Gi-Oh!
I'd be down.
It's like 7,000 seasons.
There are.
And Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I love GX. But May 2nd, I think, I think this could be better than Captain America, which we're seeing this weekend.
Yeah, you've said that before, and okay.
I just have more fun watching these trailers than the Captain America trailers. But I'm excited for Captain America too. We'll see how it goes. My last minute predictions for Captain America, by the way, I'm thinking 85 million for a 3-day weekend. It is a 4-day weekend because of President's Day, so I'm thinking 85 for a 3-day, maybe 95, 98 for that Monday or the 4-day. So I think 3 and 4-day, I think will be sub 100. That's my idea. But apparently it's doing decently well internationally, so we'll see.
Nice. I'm thinking 215 million.
Motherfucker.
Every time.
Been 3 years.
And I will never, ever stop until I'm right.
Yeah. You keep on saying that because me and Carson are like, Spider-Man is not breaking those records, and Spider-Man broke all the records.
Oh, did it? Who's shocked? I'm not.
I was like, there's no way Spider-Man does more than Infinity War. Really, Spider-Man? And then it did.
I mean, I was also from a time I didn't think Endgame would do more than Infinity War.
Endgame doing 350. Will we ever see that again, guys? Just put that in perspective. 350 million in one weekend.
The most terrifying ticket crash I've ever experienced in my life.
Like, that's insane.
So insane. Will we ever get that again? I don't know. We'd have to, invest in franchises and, give them time to breathe and build up. Maybe Shang-Chi 3.
Maybe. It's funny that Endgame did 350 opening weekend and it still didn't beat the Force Awakens domestic haul. Force Awakens doing 900 and 50 million domestically is also insane. Like, will that ever be beaten in America? Apparently, they got beaten this weekend in China. That one animated film made $1 billion in China alone.
That was really
crazy.
Cool. But yeah, I don't know. It's what other big size franchises are there really left to make comebacks?
That could do what Marvel did, 350.
Yeah, I mean, granted, that was a big culmination of 10 years of storytelling. Star Wars, that was the first movie in 10 years.
Yeah. Well, ask me in 10 years, and if we're still talking, we'll see.
What the next franchise? Yeah, John Wick 5 coming out.
Yeah, 350 million for John Wick. But yeah, in terms of franchises, I don't know. It could be an animated movie. These animated movies are putting in some big numbers. Incredibles 2 did 170. What was the last biggest animated? Inside Out 2 did decently well overall.
How did Toy Story 4 fare in 2020?
I think that was 120, but it legged out. I think Incredibles 2 is the highest. Am I going crazy? Is it still Incredibles 2?
Incredibles probably had the most anticipated animated sequel ever, right?
Yeah, highest opening weekend animated. I'm
trying to think of like every big franchise, but we've already kind of like touched them with modern sequels.
Yeah, Incredibles 2 here, or they keep saying The Lion King. I don't know.
Lilo and Stitch.
Incredibles was 182. Yeah, Lilo and Stitch, Toy Story 5. I don't know that, probably not. But like Moana 3. I don't know.
Finding Nemo 3.
Yeah. Finding
Marlin.
But let's look at this Jurassic trailer. It could be the next Jurassic Park. You never know.
I mean, these do make money.
Okay.
So is this the shot? Just real quick, was this the shot they were talking about from that report we were reading?
Yeah, I think so. But I think
it sounded more major than it actually.
Well, I think it's going to be major when they do it in. There might be like a. This is the first time we see it, but then later on in the movie something happens. I don't know.
because I mean, yeah, we're gonna hit press play right now, but like that is the fossil is standing in the exact same way the original T-Rex was.
Exactly. When dinosaurs ruled the earth.
Dr. Henry Loomis, this is Zora Bennett.
Henry Loomis is wild. I just automatically think of
This would be a
Ghostbusters.
medical breakthrough that could save countless lives. It comes from the largest dinosaurs on the planet.
So this is what we talked about with the report last week as well,
Fortunately
where
for us,
they're looking
all
for a
these
medical
species
cure,
exist in one isolated place.
and they have to go to this
Can you do it
crazy
tomorrow?
place.
I can guarantee your safety. I mean, more or less.
More or less?
I think Jonathan Bailey is pretty solid in this movie
He's
so
your guy.
far.
Yeah.
The best.
Mahershala Ali doing some good shit.
Oh, yeah.
We look towards Barbados, avoid government patrol, but there aren't that many anymore.
Why's that?
Nobody's crazy enough to go
No
there.
one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
Let's boot
This
up.
island was the research facility for the original Jurassic Park.
It's big Jurassic Park 3
We
vibe.
need DNA from the 3 biggest.
And I love that. Jurassic Park 3 is one of my
Get a
favorites.
sample from an egg. I suppose we could try and get it from the parent, but they're a flying carnivore the size of an F-16.
This is the Indiana Jones scene we talked about.
Mm. Wow.
That
Terrifying.
thing is huge. Oh my god. Yeah, just kill me now. Just kill me now. That I haven't.
These dinosaurs
Hell no.
would be too dangerous for the original park.
Please don't say they're raptors.
I love the horror element here.
Raptors.
Yeah.
The worst
Bringing
of the
that
worst. We're left here.
You know, there was some good horror elements in the second Jurassic World.
Yeah. Nice.
We put ourselves in a place we don't belong.
I just love the. Oh, that's crazy. That's cool.
Yeah.
Survival is a long shot.
This is the coolest.
All those Spinosaurs.
They're helping
Wow.
defend territory, stalk,
They're helping the Mosasaur.
hunt.
None of what you just said is good.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
No.
This looks
Right
fun.
Really?
I'm surprised how much I'm like liking everything I'm hearing about this movie and the visual upgrade. I just gotta say, like, you know, you could really see Gareth Edwards' touch on this. Like, partially, yes, it looks like your normal Jurassic Park blockbuster here, but I like the visual look of the dinosaurs and everything you see on the island itself. It just looks clean. I mean, not that the other films are dirty in a sense, but I'm just saying.
No, it's very like high quality, but
Exactly.
also very vibrant.
High quality, vibrant. I couldn't agree more. And I think Gareth Edwards, as we saw with Godzilla and his other films, he's really good at establishing scale in his movies. So I think it's really smart to get him directing these big, epic creatures.
Totally. Yeah, man, it looks like it's gonna be a fun time. I think Mahershala Ali is probably gonna be my favorite in this.
He's definitely going to be the highlight character.
I hope he doesn't die.
I don't think so. I'm going with it. No. Usually the pirate characters, I think he'll live. Or he can sacrifice himself.
It depends, you know, like King Kong and films like that.
That's true. Yeah.
I love this. I love these looks.
Two-headed raptor?
Is it? Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's great.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I hope it breaks out.
So yeah, this is the original Jurassic Park Island, or you know, where they experimented on things. So all these crazy alien creatures.
No volcanoes here. They had a direct reference to Jurassic Park itself. Well, they referenced Jurassic World in the title Jurassic World.
Probably not. This movie did not help me with understanding this after the Jurassic World movie, Dominion, whatever it fucking was called.
Wait, should they have gone with a different title than World? Do you think?
I think so. I mean, didn't that last movie end with the dinosaurs still roaming the earth? Like,
yeah.
So
yeah,
what happened?
I guess like these genetic ones are. I guess a good reason to get them back on an island is like, yeah, there's experiments. They have different DNA that could potentially help with things. So yeah, and it's always like the company is sending us to extract specimens from the dinos.
Dino DNA.
I'm excited, Evan, for Scary Raptors again.
Scary Raptor is going to be great. I mentioned like the fun horror element is back. Look at that shot with the claw coming out of the smoke. That's awesome. That's really
good.
cool. But yeah, the horror element was the best part of the second Jurassic World movie that you love.
Fallen Kingdom is
Fallen
really
Kingdom.
good.
Yeah. I think I've learned to like, I don't like the movie a lot, but I've learned to appreciate that the most easily out of the three movies. That has like the most sauce to it.
It's at the very least, visually, it is the best.
Yeah. I think Dominion is still like the worst one.
I have to rewatch it. You know, there's an extended edition.
Nathan, please.
Man, look at this. So this is our Xeno Rancor T-Rex.
Yes, Gareth was like, I couldn't put the Rancor in Rogue One, but you know what? Hollywood gave me a second chance.
That is so funny. It's like I couldn't put the Rancor in Rogue One. Robert Rodriguez was like, I can.
Yeah.
That is terrifying. Where are the eyes?
I can't even see the eyes. And apparently somebody said it has like 4 arms, like in a longer shot of it somewhere.
Oh man.
I don't know where. Maybe from concept art or something. But I'm excited for this. I know some people are like, well, it seems more generic than the reports were leading us on. But I understood. It's going to fill out your Jurassic World check marks and stuff like that. But for the most part, I think it's going to be a little unique at least. That shot, man. Edwards like, I got to do it again.
I love Alien Romulus.
My hallway scene. I saw some people comparing this to Alien Romulus, by the way, saying like this could be the Alien Romulus of the Jurassic franchise, which for people that hated Jurassic World or hated Alien Romulus, they're not very excited about that. But I love Alien Romulus. I think it's a very, very, very good movie. And I'm excited about that. Look at this. This is the raft scene where the kids are on the raft and they have to go past the T-Rex in the water. Like, holy shit! Holy shit! This is crazy.
Terrifying.
I keep thinking he gets the foot there. Like I keep thinking he gets the foot.
No,
he doesn't. But like, oh my god,
close. Look at narrow. He kicked it. I think
like he kicks it in the eye. You gotta poke it in the eyeball.
Yeah, it punts the gills.
Oh my god.
Well, that would be a fun little river scene. But I mean, you want to talk a water scene? Evan, there are 4. I see 3 Spinosaurus and the big Mosasaur. That's great.
Man. Oh my gosh. Could this be the end of the movie?
No. I think it's probably end of the second act.
End of the second act, maybe.
I'm sure they're going to go up against a Xeno.
They look scared. Oh yeah, just too many people in suits. Yeah, I can't tell.
We'll probably lose a person in a suit.
Yeah. Like, never turn her back when you're doing this shit. What are you doing? Oh my god!
That is insane. We also have a kid here, so a lot of peril here. My god! Evan! These fucking crocodile dinos.
They're so dead. So dead.
This guy, I don't even know who this guy is.
If you don't know who they are, they're dead, Nathan.
Yeah, this could be the stunt double for all I know. Look at that, I don't know.
God, wow. That kid. You better hold on. What the fuck you doing? Oh my god. I'm excited to see what Scarjo, how many dinosaurs he can kill here.
Scarjo's looking pretty cool in this.
I agree.
Yeah. I love the Mosasaur. I'm glad we're doing more with them finally. Yeah. It was, some cool segments in the first one, second and third cameo, basically.
Yeah. This is for you, Nathan.
This is for me.
Yeah.
This is for me. Jurassic World Rebirth. It feels so weird because I feel like this would be like, oh, it's exciting. We're back in Jurassic, but like we finished the last trilogy conclusion, like not like in the same time we're getting this new one is the same time it took to make the other ones intermittently.
Yeah,
so it doesn't feel like
3 years.
It doesn't feel like we've had a break at all. Even like with the trailer, like ramping up like a new era and stuff, I'm just like, yeah, it's the next one. It doesn't feel like we're back. It's like, okay, it's still going.
Also, apparently, in terms of the trailers, because we've been talking about trailer for the past couple of weeks now. Superman trailer, Fantastic Four trailer, now Jurassic World Rebirth. Apparently, Jurassic World Rebirth has the lowest trailer view amount compared to Fantastic Four and Superman. I still contend this will be the biggest summer hit of that month, of that July corridor. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, yeah, probably because international audiences just like monster flicks in general. So I think this is going to do very well internationally, which it usually does.
That's what I feel as well. I think like the comic book fans are always going to be the first one to watch the trailers, right?
Yeah.
Because you're getting comic book fans on top of casuals watching those movies. For this one, this is pure casual. I mean, there is a Jurassic fandom out there, but it's like, it's not superhero fandom.
They've kind of like, I mean, they got 3 Jurassic World movies already, and they're just like, cool, but
exactly.
they're not as hyped as, at least not the initial release of Jurassic World. That was a big time as well, 2015.
Yeah, but so I think this movie is going to have just gangbuster international and overall appeal. Opening weekend is going to be hard to gauge. I think Fantastic Four could do upwards of like 120. Like I'm thinking like Guardians level.
Million?
No.
It's
and
fine.
Then Superman, I just don't know where Superman can be. Like I think what did the Batman open up to? Like 150. I think we talked about it, like 150. I think was the Batman.
250.
Not 250. So I think Superman could also open to like 140, 130, maybe.
Okay,
maybe that's too high. I don't know.
I feel like at least domestically, Jurassic's probably gonna have the lowest, but
better legs.
Yeah, but between Superman and Fantastic Four, which do you think is going to open up bigger?
Superman and Fantastic Four.
At this rate, I think I am going to say Superman.
Me too. Me too. It's so hard to gauge. Like the last Superman movie came out in 2013. The Batman is not Superman, so the fandoms are different. But the Superman reception was so big when that trailer came out. I'm just sticking with that. Like
using the theme.
Using what?
They're using the John Williams theme.
Yeah.
It's very like bright and very optimistic take on Superman. It is supposed to be the kickoff of a new DC world that the audiences are going to now be experiencing for years to come. But also, Fantastic Four is going to do well for sure. It is established Marvel Studios. It has a lot of big names: Pedro Pascal, Joseph Quinn, cousin Evan, and Vanessa Kirby. They're all great, and I think that is going to boast well because also it's exciting. Like, oh wait, so we're doing Fantastic Four again, but probably better than the last one. And it is always like a big thing. Marvel's first family, and the 2005 film was pretty big and people grew up with it. But also, 50-50 how people are going to gauge the 60s aesthetic as well. Greater WandaVision was a big hit, but that went through different eras. This is specifically that era. But I think it's more just a backdrop. You're going to be more invested in like the experiences of the crew and the space missions they'll be going on. I think it all depends once we get a second trailer for both of them.
100%. And I'm just gauging comparisons. I think like Guardians 2, I think did like 115, 117. Guardians 3 did a little bit better, like 120 something. So I just think this is around that Guardians of the Galaxy level where it's very fun. We were the group of people, cosmic, weird, but now it's Fantastic Four. I think I'm thinking 120-ish in that range. Even Thor, like 4 people didn't love, did like 120 something. And I think Superman, on the other hand, has like that Batman recognition. 2 of the most famous superheroes of all time. The first trailer was huge for Superman. So yeah, I'm thinking like 150, a little bit above that, but we'll see what can leg out better. Fantastic Four comes out later, which is a benefit, and has all of August, which is not very big this year. Also, I didn't put this in show notes, but people have been complaining with the Superman marketing. And to be fair, the weird Superman, like, we teased that like this Sunday they will not have a Super Bowl spot, but they will have like a Puppy Bowl spot. And they didn't really do much with that. They just like teased crypto a little bit. And
that's all merch.
And then there's a merch. And then there's a weird Green Lantern TikTok thing. Not TikTok, but just like you see the Green Lantern hair thing that he was doing on.
Oh, yeah. The little like Super Bowl side online ad.
Yeah, but I'm like, I don't think that was aired during the Super Bowl. I think that was just an online thing. But even if it is just an online thing, it's not really saying, hey, go see Superman so you can see. It's not really exciting.
Yeah, that's doing so little for any of the marketing. Am I going for Guy Gardner? No.
Yeah, exactly. And the haircut is a choice. I get it. It works for who the character is.
Yeah.
But
also, a
it
lot
is
of
weird.
audiences don't know this character yet.
Exactly. I think 99% of them don't have no idea who Guy Gardner is.
It's like if they started marketing Guardians and it was like, look at Drax.
Yeah, right. It's like,
you could get people on board. It's like talk a tree raccoon. Yeah, what the fuck is this? I'll check it out. But if it's just Drax, you're like, what?
So the marketing hasn't been super perfect, but I see people online really like, man, what are they doing with the Superman marketing? I'm just like, guys,
it's started,
Superman. Really. It just started. They're doing some weird stuff, sure. And I get some people who didn't like the first one because it was all about like they showed a lot of like hot girl, Mr. T, not Mr. T, but you know what I mean.
Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific. And then Guy Gardner. Like there's a lot of things that in the first trailer that were just pretty weird and people would have no idea who they are. That being said, though, I think the first trailer was received very well, and I think more trailers are going to increase the marketing. And again, it's Superman. So even if I don't know who X, Y, and Z are, people are just going to go see a Superman movie. You don't have to do a lot for a Superman movie.
Yeah.
But
there wasn't and again, it was like the most like teaser, right? It was just like, yeah, this is the world, this is the vibe, the feel of Superman, but we haven't really gotten anything in regards to Clark's characterization, and I'm sure we'll probably get him doing some narration on the next trailer and like really getting his perspective of like, I'm trying to be this hero that my father always wanted me to be, but I'm just starting out, I don't know what I'm doing, trying to find his way in this world. That I think they'll explore that for the central theme of the next trailer and like really get you in the feel of like, this is a Clark Kent that we're going to be following. He's naive, but he's determined and he just wants to do what's best for everybody and help people.
For sure. You mentioned like, he's trying to find his way. You think the movie could start off with something in the way? Ooh.
I hope so, because then I'm not gonna rest until they cross over, Evan.
How baller that would be! Like Superman starts off with something. I would lose my mind.
Yeah, he's flying over Gotham.
Oh, something in the way.
Yeah, what's gonna be Superman's song? But anyway, that is the thing, though, Evan. Is like I've been seeing like more and more as the time goes on. It's getting very popular, the idea of putting those two together.
It is. It is.
You think if you, like now with this current perspective, like percentage over under 50?
I think as I mentioned last time, after those Matt Reeves comments really threw me for a loop when he was like, not no. I'm like, whoa, who is this Matt Reeves? Like, Matt Reeves, why are you just not flat out declining? Why are you switching up now, Matt? Again, I think they really want to. They really, really want to. But also, I don't think they do. I'm thinking no. Especially after, and it's weird to compare this or to use evidence from a cartoon, but like having seen, not Legends of Tomorrow, fucking Creature Commandos.
The Batman.
Having seen that Batman and seeing how like James Gunn in his interview was just like, I vetoed so many designs. I want this design to be perfect. I want the shape to be perfect. So we'll have to just do the silhouette. They're doing all this time to craft their Batman for this universe. It's going to be separate. I'm just thinking it's going to be separate. That's my thing about it. Even though I want them to be, I don't mind them now. I'm switching over from like hell no to it could be cool, but it won't happen. Either way, it won't happen.
I'm losing my mind, Evan. I'm losing my mind over it. Why? Why an old Batman? Again,
it's not. It's not an old Batman. That's why you're killing me, Nathan.
He's in his 40s.
Old. We don't know how old he is. We're getting 40s from.
Probably.
He could be 30.
Because I don't know. Because he has a child. Because he has the whole Bat family. That's why you don't.
I know.
You do not go through 3 Robins and you're what 29. Liar.
Time flies in Gotham. What do you mean, Nathan?
No, a lot flies. And you know what else flew? The Graysons.
too soon, motherfucker.
It's too soon. It's their name. They are the Flying Graysons.
Well, they didn't fly that last time.
Where was the net? Where's the love?
Where's the love?
What happened? Was it just an accident, or did someone kill him?
What happened? The mom flew into like the dad tried to catch her, but then something happened. I think like a rope was cut or something. And then Dick now hates scissors.
That's why he had that long mullet as Nightwing.
Wow, that was a choice. Whenever we get the Nightwing movie, they should, put an Easter egg for that mullet. Good old 80s Nightwing. Anyways, it won't happen. I want it to. I keep saying I want it to. I wouldn't mind if it happened either way. But again, I don't think we're getting 40s Batman. I think we're getting 3s, early to late 30s.
36.
36, 35. Either way, if he is 35, that's 20 plus years of Batman you can theoretically do.
Yeah, but it's also like 20 plus years of Batman we've already lived through.
True. How old do you think Batman became Batman? When he was like 10? Like, what motherfucker?
14. No. If I watch Gotham.
This isn't Spider-Man. Oh, God.
I'm just kidding. No, but I mean, like, Bruce is like, what, 28 in the Batman right now?
Fuck should I know? I don't know.
He's late 20s.
Yeah.
We had a whole topic about that. We discussed this before on here.
Maybe we did. Yeah. We talked about a lot of things, Nathan. 144 episodes if you didn't know.
Yeah. Of just this one.
Of just us bullshitting for 144 episodes.
There's so much fucking bandwidth of us bullshitting.
Yeah, I don't know why we have viewers. But anyways, let's end this episode off with some reviews, some TV.
That's right.
That's what we're here for. Invincible or Spider-Man? Let's start off with Spider-Man.
I'm on the Marvel train of Jurassic.
That's how we do it. Our train goes every which way. No straight road for us. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man episodes 3 through 5. And Nathan, I tweeted
neighborhood wasn't so friendly.
It's not very friendly. I'm not happy, Bob. But I've been vibing with this show. I think this batch of episodes cemented it as not just a cool, fun show, but a really good show. A really good show worth watching with some great writing in terms of like what's going on with Lonnie in particular. I am beyond fascinated how engaged I am with the Lonnie storyline.
Yeah.
It's very, modern. It's very real. It's tragic. I'm engaged, even if Spider-Man's not in front of my screen. I'm really engaged with what's going on with Lonnie, given what they've shown from him, to us of him. Other big takeaways before we break some stuff down. I'm liking Nico even more. I think Nico's developing a crush on Peter now. I think, right? Yes, no, maybe so.
I think I think I got that from one scene, and then another scene I'm like, what if she likes Harry?
I got the sense that like she didn't, that she was like when at the end of episode 5, I think, when Harry goes on like he interrupts like their date. I'm like, first of all, Peter, asshole move. Never do that, especially if it's a girl. I don't care if she's like your best friend. I don't care if she's like, oh, she's like my sister. You never invite a third person without asking. I don't care who it is. Never do that. Never do that.
Never. I don't like it.
Anyways,
that's a great TikTok I watched where there's two guys and he's like, hey, you want to go grab some coffee? Like, yeah, who else gonna be there? It's just you and me. Who else gonna be there? It's just you and me. Who else gonna be? It's just you and the people that are customers. Who is gonna be there? Just you and me. And 2 of my friends. I'm not going, bro, come on. I know. You act like they're gonna hit you or something. You don't know that they won't. Come on, just meet them. Here they are. Hi. Hi. Bam. I didn't know they were going to hit you. I'm never leaving my house again.
Wow.
I blacked out for a second, but it was funny.
That's funny. That's real. I don't go on TikTok, but I live vicariously through Nathan's TikTok.
I just posted us on TikTok.
Oh, I saw that. No, I didn't. Wait, the one you tweeted
I,
out?
I,
Or the
post,
one
I posted on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. Yeah, our
okay.
Spider-Man discussion.
I saw the YouTube short one. Yeah. That was great. Take a step. Take a breathe. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, like when Harry joins that day and he goes like, "It'll be okay." Like she talks to herself. I mean, that's straight up girl, shy, awkward vibe going on there.
But like she was very like chill around Peter all the time, but now she's kind of like slightly shaking. So I can see it go two ways because well she also kind of liked Pearl, so I think first off she's bi, which is great.
I mentioned that last week. Yeah, I think she's not gay, but just bi.
Just a form. But if you didn't know, there's many in a category.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I find it interesting. I'm kind of like viewing it as like crushing the Harry perspective because I remember she went on a whole spiel about like, oh, Harry's an influencer, nepo dude, like whatever. And then Peter's like, well, why are you following him? That just ironically, I'm following him. What do you mean?
I think that was like a fan thing, but maybe
it could be a fan thing, but also maybe more. I don't know. Time will tell. Literally in like tomorrow.
Yeah. But yeah, overall, I'm liking the. I think episode 3 or 4, we got more of like the Aunt May, Uncle Ben, not backstory, but just a little bit when he's like cleaning out the clothes a little bit. That was very sweet. I mean, this show just is. It's very sweet. It's very like, man, I'm watching this like, man, this is what I wanted in like live action. Where it's very comic booky, but it's sweet. It's funny. It's like quintessential Peter.
He's
great
taking
action.
photos.
Yeah, he's taking photos with he's not even working for the Daily Bugle yet. But most importantly, I think this arc, this 3 through 5 arc here, really cemented the interesting dynamic between Peter and Norman. We mentioned last week like Norman's gonna be like the Tony, and he definitely is, but we only saw Tony being Peter's mentor like in Homecoming, like a 2-hour movie, and he was only in it for a few scenes. And then of course he's in it a little bit in Far From Home, whatever. But either way, what I'm saying here is that like we're getting a lot more of it. Like he's going to dinner with them. Him and Harry now know the secret. The Norman costume sequence was very, very funny. Like I'm liking the dynamic a lot.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I mean, by this point, I don't think Norman's nefarious right now. I mean, he works for Oscorp, and he's, he got like the budgets and stuff on the mind, and like marketing Peter as a hero and whatnot, and probably using the notoriety as backing of Oscorp, like official sponsor of Spider-Man, do Oscorp, like stuff like that. But he is also very grateful that Peter saved Harry's life, and there's that aspect as well. And the fact that they're paired together now and they're friends, I really do feel like everything is looking top notch for the Peter and Norman dynamic right now. And it really does kind of feel like, depending on the situation, because there's still the characterization of Norman being not super thrilled by Harry, especially with how much he is by Peter currently with the Spider-Man of it all. I could very much see some shift of divide, maybe not this season, but down the road. Like they're not working out so well, and Harry being like, I could prove to my dad I'm just as good as him. Let me grab some Oscorp tech and call me the Goblin or some shit, and then goes down that route.
And they're already teasing us that like while Harry is like homeschooled, he is a smart character. He's not like a dumbass. Like he's smart. He's smart enough. So that's very interesting. But yeah, I'm with you. So much so that we know that Norman isn't the person giving people all these technology. It is in fact Dr. Octopus, who was revealed in the end of episode 3, beginning of episode 4, and then majorly in 5. But either way, Doc Ock is the one supplying these people with powers and tech that he got from Oscorp.
And that was a big a clue. Like all the tech had the same like logo on it as like a double O's for Octavius.
Yeah.
Otto Octavius.
So Norman is figuring that out. We see certain scene where Norman's trying to like figure out what's going on with that. So Norman's playing good right now. Otto is the main bad guy for season 1. But I'm with you. Eventually that relationship will crumble. But I like that we're getting this heartwarming genuine side to the Norman and Peter relationship. So when it does break apart, when we do get the quintessential one of my favorite characters ever in Green Goblin / Norman, then it'll be even more rich and more engaging as to an audience. And with Harry as well, just they're sowing a lot of interesting seeds so early, but in a genuine, funny way. I'm having a blast with this show.
There's so many interesting angles you could take, especially with this idea that Norman's trying to improve Peter and make him a better Spider-Man with all these different upgrades, which like ultimately it's very clear like from the jump, like none of these enhancements are necessary. Just let me be Spider-Man and the rest will come naturally. But I can see Norman continuing to push and maybe be like, oh, what if we could like make you stronger? What if we can enhance you with like some sort of concoction that you could take, and maybe they start developing that, put Connors on it, and then she tests it, and boom, we got Lizard. But then we like refine it, and it gets a little better, and it seems like all's well and good, but we don't have time to test it. So Norman's like, I'll test it on myself. Boom, it works. I feel crazy. He's the color.
Unlimited power.
Out am I? Fucking.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's going a lot of interesting ways, and I think we'll see that escalation of like Norman's desperation happen later on. But I do like you said, they're teasing us with reasons why he is so locked in. Even aside from like, hey, you helped save Harry's life. He also recognizes that like in this world, which is similar to the MCU, he references the Battle of New York and how the Battle of New York gave him the impetus to be like, Tony Stark or other people with the alien technology. Like, I wanted a way to like, set aside some projects so I could be, protect myself, protect the city. He even mentioned like he set up a group to do like a secret projects division, and that's the people doing the capes. And maybe the division is the same group that's also going to be doing, the Goblin's glider for all we know.
I saw Amazing Spider-Man 2. I know what they're making down
there. So you never really know with that. What was I going to say? He also mentions like, hey, some of these heroes need accountability. He references like what happened with Ultron. There's like an Ultron tease there.
The Civil War is happening right now.
Right now, Sokovia Accords is a great scene, funny scene, where Nico and Peter are arguing about like which side or whatever. And
I heard the real Captain America died and he was replaced by a clone.
I'm like, no, Peter, are you reading that Secret Invasion comics?
Reading that Secret Empire.
Yeah, right. Secret Empire, but that was a run.
Everyone believed it so quick. The Hail Hydra.
Like that really tested modern media literacy. That really bugged me.
I'm canceling my 40-year subscription to Marvel. Stop.
I don't even read Captain America comics, but when I saw that tease, I bought the issue and I read the whole issue, and I'm like, are people dumb? Like,
you would think with how long convoluted comic storylines have been for so many years that like, guys, no.
It was weird. And like the first issue was just teasing Evil Cap, but I could tell like, oh, this is not what's really happening. I didn't even read the entire run of that, but I heard it was solid. Anyways, so yeah, the whole Civil War Sokovia thing was very funny and interesting. Just keeping us in the timeline of like this variation, this branch of the MCU. But yeah, let me look. I took some notes as well, so we can get into some specifics.
There was the group of villains that was using like the laser cannon head.
Yeah, that's in episode 6. Yeah, let's work backwards a little bit here.
Yeah.
That was the unicorn. So in the previous episode, we get a tease of like the Rhino crew. The Rhino was the guy driving. And then episode 5, it was 3 through 5. Sorry, not episode 6. But in the final episode of the batch, episode 5, the unicorn woman, she escapes like the truck because they get caught by police. She tells like, hey, can you build me some kind of tech to help save my crew? And Nagak gives her that forehead tech, which is like the unicorn. Peter dubs her the unicorn. And And yeah, that was a really cool fight sequence there where she was beating him up a little bit. Like I love seeing Peter learn how to like use his powers and fight these people over time.
He got this guy in the chair who's now the dude at the desk.
Yeah, Harry becomes that was my next bullet point. Yeah, Harry becomes the Peter's dude at the desk, man in the chair. And again, like I mentioned, this is where we get a sense of like Harry isn't a dumbass. He's actually pretty smart, helping Peter do all this kind of stuff. But he does say he's homeschooled. And he does give off homeschooled vibes, which is very funny. But yeah, Peter then defeats Unicorn thanks to the Rhino's help. That was a very fun action sequence where she's going crazy and she's like, "I freed you out of prison. Why are you against me?" And he's like, "Well, you almost shot me. What the fuck?
No, you did shoot me.
You did shoot
gambled
me.
My life thinking like, oh yeah, he'll save you. You didn't know."
Yeah, right? And that was crazy. So he pulls off her mask and then Peter comes in for the final hit there.
I think the bearded guy of the crew was named Dimitri, who I think is Chameleon.
Oh, I didn't even recognize that part. I didn't put that down in my notes.
He kind of looks like the Dimitri Chameleon from Far From Home.
Yeah.
So
going backwards a little bit, we also got Speed, Demon, and Tarantula in the first episode.
That was
episode
cool.
3.
Cool dude.
Cool what?
It was cool team up, cool duo.
Yeah, that was a really cool action sequence. That was with Peter in his first original costume, getting his ass kicked. But Norman is like, "Hey, Peter, you can see him charging his boots." So that was a really cool development. Again, I like seeing Norman just help out Peter there. It's just a really fun dynamic. But yeah, so they beat up what's it called? Tarantula, and that they also got their tech from Dr. Octopus, as was teased. And then we talked about the whole suit thing with Peter. Tries on the cape, no capes, which is very funny. The whole cape thing didn't work out. He got beat up. The whole black suit scared the kid. Didn't work out at all.
Yeah.
And then
because he was hiding in the tree, fucking clawing it.
Then he was like,
Peter, you chose this.
He was like, hey, what are you doing? I can explain.
Here's your balloon, which I was cackling because funny side Spider-Man Easter egg is the Spider-Man 2 movie video game. There is constant side mission where you swing around, you randomly hear a kid go, "My balloon," and a fucking balloon flies out, and you can go swing, get it, bring it back to the kid. And it was one for one the same thing. I think it even sounded the same. I was like, that's fucking wild cut to put in. That's funny.
That's funny. Anybody else remember Spider-Man 1 where you couldn't touch the ground?
I hated it.
That was weird.
What's the point?
That was weird.
I'm swinging on nothing.
We're just swinging. Yeah, the Spider-Man 2 though, where you could touch the ground, that was great. And then
that was great.
Spider-Man 3, I played that game a lot. Spider-Man 3, Web of Shadows, peak Web of Shadows.
I love to put on the symbiote suit and then drop from high up. Because I think if you don't have the symbiote suit on, you die from impact. But if you have it on, you just crush the ground.
You just crush the ground. That was cool.
And I just love the way it looks when it disappears, the smoke ambiance around.
So awesome. I mean, that was one of my favorite open worlds where I would just swing for hours, just saving the scientists from the symbiote people.
Yeah,
great.
I mean, there was a bunch of crime syndicates that you could break down.
Remember the Wolverine fight in Web of Shadows? That was lit.
Yeah, that as well. Cool. The giant Venom kaiju.
Yeah.
Which they kind of did in Venom 3-ish.
They kind of did, yeah. So yeah, I mentioned already Peter needed money, so he was selling old Uncle Ben stuff. We saw the baseball game stuff. And then Uncle May's doing really cool stuff.
Uncle May,
Aunt May. I'm trying to avoid the Lonnie stuff. I'll talk about that in a second. Okay. Harry becomes Peter's man at the desk. So yeah, just in general, I'm really liking Harry, Peter, and Norman dynamic. I'm really curious to see where that will go. How many episodes? There's 6 through 8. Is there 12 episodes this season? I think it's 6 through 8 tomorrow.
I think 10.
And then 9 through 12 or 9 and 10.
I think so.
Let me look it up. Friendly. Not Friends. I don't care about Friends. Spider-Man animated series episode guide doesn't tell me. Shit. Episode count. No, can't find anything. I'll find it in a second. But yeah, I think they're developing this Peter and Norman stuff very interestingly. But Nathan, let's talk about this Lonnie stuff. Because man, the Lonnie stuff was hard to watch, but like super engaging.
Super engaging. I'm worried.
I'm worried too.
I mean, it's clear what's happening, but you don't want to see it happen.
Officially 10 episodes, by the way.
Okay.
Approximately 10 episodes, but I think it's confirmed to be 10.
But yeah, Lonnie's brother joined a gang, and he had to trade his life for his,
which is tragic. That brother pissed me off, but it's like he's being a kid, but still pissed me off. I hate to watch it.
He pissed me off. The gang pissed me off because, like, what the fuck are you gonna do with a 14-year-old dude?
Nathan, what the? I was livid. It was like, it's like 1:30. Lonnie's in class. Like, come outside. The car is waiting. Motherfuckers, do you really need me that badly? Get a fucking life. And I was like, okay, I joined your gang or whatever bullshit. Pretty lame to have a gang. But second of all, hit me up after 2 or after my practice. Work around me. Like,
yeah, motherfuckers, y'all don't sleep in,
right? Y'all, you telling me I can't do my 45 minutes to an hour of practice? Really? I have to come now?
How were you guys operating before me?
Right? Like, why do you need me that badly, motherfuckers? You don't need me. And I walked into your camp. Y'all were just chilling, reading, and doing bullshit.
I got so far in without anybody getting on me.
Right? You were just walking in, and people were just like reading, drinking, smoking, doing bullshit. Like, come on.
I'll tell you what was bullshit when it was like, hey, go pick up our burrito order. And just like, oh, there's a bunch of people who almost jumped me there. It's like, yeah, I figured that would happen. Well, now you're in too deep because they tracked you here. Definitely. It's definitely not my fault, but it is.
I'd have been.
Now you need us for protection.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck.
Straight up mafia stuff where it's like, hey, you need our protection. Let's bash up your shop so you get our protection. So it was like creating the need or whatever.
There is a bit of a pitiful situation here when like they do have and the rival gang being a Scorpion's gang, which is interesting.
Yeah, I wrote that down. We have Matt Gargan, he's Scorpion in charge. Big Donovan, who's a Luke Cage villain apparently. Big Donovan is a bit main guy, and he says like Scorpion's known for tracking people very well, which could be a thing later down the line if he ever works for Norman or for Doc Ock.
Boy, wouldn't it be great to see Michael Mando in this role?
How did they waste Michael Mando as Scorpion, man?
That's why. With how much amazingness he brought in Better Call Saul, how do you not?
How do you not? We just need a solo movie with him versus Scorpion. How hard was that?
It's do Spider-Man 5.
Nathan, don't do that to me. Nathan,
don't give me hope.
But don't give me dread. That should be Spider-Man 4. Anyway.
Yeah, it should. But that's the multiverse. Let's be real.
Let's talk about good Spider-Man here.
All right. Well, we don't know yet, but anyway, so what we have the two gangs come head to head. They're fighting, and Lonnie sees Big Don's about to get stabbed. It could be over. He could be free. He saves him.
He saves him. Well, wait. Let's break this down. If he saved Big Donovan.
He does.
Which he does. Maybe he as he gets like notoriety, gets fame. Maybe he can actually like nicely ask, like, can y'all work around my hours now as a gang member, please?
Because if we're being honest, if he died, it probably would have been like Scorpion, like, all right, you all work for me now, or we'll find you.
Scorpion would have just like he could have just killed the whole gang, right? Like they could have killed the whole gang and. Now he has no connection to Matt Gargan. At least he has some connection to Big Donovan.
Yeah. But ultimately, I can.
Taking a knife is wild.
Yeah,
Couldn't be me.
yeah, he did. My God. But then by the end, they gave him the nickname Tombstone, and Lonnie likes it
because he took a knife, and he was like, "I like it."
And I was like, "Oh no, don't do that!
Don't do that, Lonnie."
And I think it's clear Lonnie's gonna fall from grace, which is terrible.
So tragic. Like this could be the what am I trying to think of here? Like just like the Peter and Harry dynamic, but not like actual Peter and Harry. Where it's like somebody that Peter is close to going down a dark path, basically. And they're establishing it as Lonnie in this case with Tombstone. I don't know if he'll get his comic character powers anytime soon, but like I could see a scenario where Lonnie, first of all, predictions now. Lonnie's getting fired from the football team. This next batch, he's gone from the football team. And Lonnie's not going to be too upset about it. I think he's going to be bummed, but then he's like, wait a second. I'm bummed, but I'm having better freedom in my gang now. So that's going to be my new outlet instead of football. And that's going to upset his relationship with Pearl and his parents and his brother.
Yeah, I think it'll probably go down a route where a lot of people are going to disconnect. He's going to be spending so much time with the gang. He's probably going to lose Pearl. Pearl and Peter might become a thing, and then he'll lose Peter from that jealousy. And then I think ultimately, as he becomes more Tombstone-like, tragically, he probably is going to eventually take out Big Don and take his place as Tombstone, run in the gang, because that's who Tombstone is.
Yeah, I think that last part is 100% going to happen.
I don't think this season, but I think next season could definitely.
By the end of this season, I think, because we're diving deep into Lonnie. I think by the end of this season, I could see Lonnie becoming the head of the game and Big Donovan listening to Lonnie. That'd be crazy. Especially if Lonnie gets powers, then Big D would definitely be like, okay, all hail the king. Yeah. Luke Cage wise. But I keep watching these Lonnie scenes. I'm like, he really needs to talk to Peter, but he can't, obviously. But like, if Spider-Man just swings by, sees what's happening, Spider-Man's going to help Lonnie get out of that situation. That could be a route too. If they don't go the full-on like Lonnie eventually becoming the gang leader, doing all this stuff, it could be just as simple as once Peter / Spider-Man realizes Lonnie is in this bad situation, because Lonnie's bottling this up, it's going to get out eventually. Tragically, eventually. But I think once Peter recognizes that Lonnie is in this situation, he'll do everything he can to help it. Will he be successful? Maybe not. But like, I think there's a route where just this whole gang thing could just end and Peter saves the day. That could just happen too. And no more Tombstone. But like, or they could just go the tragic Tombstone route and Lonnie just becomes a bad. But that would require Lonnie having to leave school and all that kind of. I just don't know how far they're going to go with it.
Because he has a whole family. Could he lose his family?
Oh, Jesus.
I don't want that to happen, but
this isn't Penguin.
They got. I don't know, man. Spider-Man's tragic. So are the associated characters.
Yeah.
I think the only thing they won't do from the comics is Harry's drug addiction. But yeah, it's all up in the air, but it doesn't look good for Lonnie.
It doesn't look good now, but I think again, I'm giving myself two routes here. One route, Lonnie becomes the evil Tombstone, Big Donovan bows down to him. Or Lonnie just keeps on getting in trouble. Peter comes in with the help of Norman and Harry, whatever, he helps save the day. Imagine Peter like, hey, Norman, my friend's in dire trouble with this money stuff. Could you help him out here? Give him a check. I don't know. But like help defeat the gang, because defeating the gang would just end the whole thing, right? But now Lonnie's stuck in with the Matt Garkin, so they know who he is now. It's like
stop them both, Spider-Man.
You have to stop both gangs.
But also Peter's really young and he's still figuring out his powers. I don't even think he's got a hone on his spider sense, frankly, as what I'm seeing lately.
I haven't seen him like do a lot of fisticuffs, by the way, as Peter, Spider-Man. By the way, he's not doing a lot of punching. But
I wonder, because like that used to be like a big rule in like the '90s show. Like there's only like 3 times ever that he throws a punch because of TV censorship.
I think he does it a couple times, but I noticed in the first couple of episodes, I'm like, is he not punching? Like, there'll be a lot easier way, like during the fire thing. I'm like, just punch the guy. It's over, Peter.
He swatted him.
But during the like tarantula and speed demon fight, like I think he does like punch and kick some stuff. And then towards the unicorn thing, he fights her as well. Let me see here. Anything else we missed? Camilla Black was like Scorpion's second in command, the woman that was like following Lonnie. She eventually becomes Scorpion in the comics, apparently.
Okay. 2 Scorpions would be cool.
I would love that. Let me see here. Oscorp suit. Oh yeah. So what do you think about the Oscorp suit in general? The white and blue. You like it overall? The Oscorp suit.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's basically the Future Foundation suit.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, inherently, it's cool, but it is like odd that it's just like existing without the Fantastic Four.
Do you think? How long until he gets the OG Spider-Man suit? The end of the season?
I think it could be in the next 3 batches, so that he can actually like be using it in the last 2.
Okay, interesting.
At the very least, he'll get it by the end of the 3rd episode coming out.
Yeah.
Because he already is like insistent, like he has them drawn in his notebooks, and he was like, Norman, I have stuff, and he's like, no, we got it. But I think they'll definitely like, circle back. I mean, granted, he's using this suit and it's great, but I think because I think didn't Peter also complain to Harry that like the suit looks kind of sterile, like he wants to add a bit more of his own flair to it.
Yeah. And Harry was like, I agree, man. Yeah, it needs more color. Also. In regards to episode 5, they've already teased. Did you see it? I don't know if I want to spoil you, but it's on the official accounts.
I saw there was a promo of Matt.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I didn't see the clips, but I went to go look up images for the thumbnail, and it was like episode 5 promo, and I was like, why?
Yeah. So cool. We're getting Daredevil.
Which they announced previously, but like I forgot. But this would be cool, and I keep forgetting that
we talked about all the characters that are coming onto the show months ago, and then we just completely forgot.
It's like Otto was coming, but and I think Charlie Cox is voicing Matt, which would be cool.
Awesome. Charlie could be Matt for the next 50 years.
This is gonna be our first Spider-Man Daredevil interaction, like in costume, because they were just on talking for like a second in No Way Home.
Nathan, the show has given us everything we want in live action, which is why I think like animation is such a fantastic medium of storytelling. It's given us everything we want.
It is so funny that the whole like pitch of the show basically becoming like, all right, let's explore different things like we weren't able to do in the movies and whatnot, and like here was like, all right, we're pulling out everything that's Spider-Man.
Everything, like nothing's off limits. It's great.
It's so funny because like usually like they're working in the parameters of like what Sony is willing to work with in the movie realm, but when it comes to TV and animation, Disney already has all the rights to everything Spider-Man in that regard, so they could do whatever they want, and they could use their existing Marvel media with the Avengers that they have there as well, and they just have free reign. So
exactly,
good stuff.
It's awesome. It's great. I'm loving the show a lot. Right now, it's a solid, like, I would go as high as, like, solid 8 out of 10. And I think with this next batch, it can go even higher. With the finale, it can go even higher. And I'm so glad we talked about it last week. They already have season 2 confirmed, season 3 being written and animated right now. So, 2026, 2027, we're getting these shows back to back to back, hopefully. So, keep it coming. Keep it coming. Speaking of keeping it coming, Invincible is back. And it's like it never left. And we'll end off with our Invincible discussion here. And Nathan, we're so back. This show is just beautifully written, fantastic. I keep seeing haters online. I'm like, how do I find cool Invincible fandom? Because I'm getting a lot of the same people being like, Amber and Eve and now. I'm like, take that away from me. I don't care. I do care about those characters, but I hate the haters.
Maybe just type Invincible.
What?
Maybe just type Invincible and love, and then go in the search and just follow those people.
Maybe, but people were really hating the Amber talking to Eve scene. Like this is very out of character for them. But it felt in character to me.
I mean, I haven't read the comics, but like,
yeah, and it felt in character to me in terms of like Eve or I mean, there was a weird line where like Amber was like, I always felt like you two were always good to each other or good for each other. But in general, I felt like it was just a genuine, fine girls talk. Coming from a dude. So, that's one perspective.
It's a nice situation because it's not just like one is jealous of the other and things have to be awkward because they both are seeing people. So it's all chill. It's nice.
It's all chill. Exactly.
And it's nice for Mark to have this support system from a superhero perspective.
Agreed. But yeah, so that being said, an overall review for me, the dating arc for Mark and Eve is happening so soon. I'm like, oh, we're doing this already. Okay, cool. We're here. I'm loving it. Loving how slow and natural it is. This show has been, in general, very slow to getting the Eve. Apparently, it's very quick in the comics. Like Amber is not that very long of a character in the graphic novel. But right now, I'm loving Mark and Eve. They have a natural relationship already, so it's not much to like ask her out. Mark is so messy though. Like, like don't bring up the time stuff. You don't have to say jack shit. Take that to Jesus. Like, you don't need to say anything. But
as soon as he fumbled with that, I was like, oh, okay, so they're not gonna get together for like a long time.
Yeah, I was like, Mark, you fucked up.
Nah, but then we kind of distract from that by having Mark get his ass beat by Cecil.
Big time.
For a second. But bigger fish to fry and all that.
Yeah.
It all levels out in terms of like their relationship. It's very nice.
Their talks have been some of my favorite parts of this season. There's, chaos ensues at the end of the episode or in the middle of the episode. Mark can just talk to Eve, and I'm just, man, it's so refreshing because he wasn't able to do that with Amber. He would come home and just have to lie, or not even lie, but just explain like this is what's happening. But she sympathized, but she didn't understand. And Eve really understands and sympathizes. She's able to talk to Debbie. She really can really cool down Mark and give him a new, fresh perspective of it all. I think Eve is such a mature character. I love that she's going to college, developing her powers. Her powers are on the same level as Mark, honestly. But she really
materialize anything.
She can materialize anything. She's like carte blanche. Like it's wild. I would love her powers so much.
I would
Is it too late for Time Blazers to change my powers?
Evan, you'd be OP as hell. You could build the prison around the bad guys.
Right? It's so cool. But again,
food, money.
She's just making coffee. I'm like, holy shit.
She left her house, and I'm like, why? Because it was so good. She's like, this place is barely staying as it is. Is it though?
It looked nice to me. Shit.
It looked pretty good. It's been lasting for months, you said, since you talked to Mark. Like, that's great. Yeah. I do like that she's learning architecture to improve her powers.
To improve her powers. It's really cool. Make it more like tight and more like operatic. And it's interesting. We're getting dual training arcs here in a sense where Mark is obviously training with Cecil at the beginning of episode 1, while Eve is going to college. It's a mental intelligence training arc, but either way, they're both like slowly evolving their powers because we know, the ticking clock of this whole series, the Viltrumites are coming. That's a big ticking clock. We all know this, even if you don't read the graphic novels. I don't, but I keep telling, after every season, I'm like, I'm going to read the graphic novels. I never do. Maybe after season 3. I don't know when season 4 is coming out. Is it supposed to be later this year or next year?
Maybe next year.
Either way,
I really don't see anything from the comics.
I keep having to scroll through Twitter because my Twitter, on the For You page, I'm like, I mean, I'm not spoiled by plot. I'm just spoiled by like characters, and I'm like, that looks cool, but I don't know who that is, so it doesn't really spoil me.
Yeah. We
Either
had
way,
one check-in with Alan, and we had one check-in with Alan and
Omni-Man. What's his name? Omni-Man.
I was like, hold on.
Debbie is a mom. Debbie and
Mark and Debbie and Nolan.
Nolan, no Lind.
I think it's just Nolan.
Just Nolan, like Nolan North.
Nolan Rad.
But yeah, we did get 1 check-in. I wrote that down here. Alan the alien trying to convince Omni-Man for help / prison break. That would be fun. That's going to happen eventually. They're going to prison break eventually.
That was fun. Where Alan was like, "Oh, I'm indestructible." I was like, "Yeah, but they can melt you with like the lasers they have." They won't. Oh fuck, they're about to.
Shit.
But then he goes back to his cell where he's like, "Okay, yeah, that hurt." But it's more like an inconvenience than anything. He's not like in pain really. So it's just like Alan's fucking invincible.
How did he get so strong again? Was this part of his alien DNA? I forget what happened.
He got beat to death. He got beat to death. When the eye socket fell out. From the Viltrumites, and then his Optimus Prime secret Viltrumite guy put him in a healing tank that would have healed him, but then he cut off his life support. That's would either go one of 2 ways. Either he's going to die or he's going to build back stronger than he would before. I think just from his regeneration process and fighting the will to live, I guess. And it worked for the better, and now Alan is a one-man army.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, I totally forgot about that. Thank you. That's right. Be paying Nathan the big bucks. In general, dating arc was great. Episode 1, the Doc Seismic episode is episode 1. What a crazy villain. Whenever they showed what he was doing, his arms were on the ground, I'm like, are y'all dumb? He should be hanging up like this. He should be hung up by like his hands. Like
magnetic plastic suspended prison.
Right? Like, don't just have this guy just casually touching the ground. His name is Doc Seismic. What are we doing here?
Put him in a bubble, in a bubble, in a bubble.
So that was wild. Mark's training arc, he's over 100% like improvement rate, which is crazy.
Yeah.
We met the time traveling twins played by Zolo from Cobra Kai / Blue Beetle.
Right on.
They steal the Declaration of Independence. Fucking Nicolas Cage, motherfucker.
Evan, this is for you.
This was big time for me. They even played they didn't play the great theme from the movie, National Treasure movie.
The Stars Metal Bang.
No, the National Treasure theme, motherfucker.
How's that go?
Right now, all I'm thinking about is Pirates of the Caribbean. Dun, 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 dun. But I'm blanking on it. But it's a fantastic theme. It's very soaring. Damn it, it's on the tip of my tongue, my mind. But either way, and Rex and Mark have a fun dynamic while they're beating up these twins.
Yeah, love Rex.
Great.
Rex is a better person than when we first met him.
Man, I mentioned that. I'm like, that's crazy. When was the last time like a big asshole character gets quite the redemption arc like this? Like, I mean, we're getting it from Nolan, but like,
even when he makes his like classic jabs here and there, he's like, all right, well, hey, okay, that was mean. Like, I'm trying to be better.
That was old me. I'm sorry. Whoop, my bad. Yeah. By the way, him and Rachel, shrinking Ray.
Yeah, I see it. No, I'm shipping the fuck out of that.
I like that. I think this show is very good with like establishing relationships. And yeah, we Rex gets beat up by Duplicate's brother here, Multi Paul, played by the great Breaking Bad. Not Jesse. Who's Jesse? What's his name? Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul. That's Aaron Paul.
That's Maul. Yeah, that's Mark Multi Paul. I mean, sorry.
I forgot there was a bunch of
Multi Paul played by Aaron Paul. That's how I remembered it. Yeah.
Yeah. He jumping right into business without considering what he's doing.
Right. I love how Mark was like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm just gonna beat the fuck out of you then.
Yeah.
But that's an overall thought for real quick. That's what I love about Mark in this show. Mark could be very brutal. He could be what Cecil fears. And we'll get into the whole Cecil thing in a second.
Yeah,
but
he's very emotional.
Mark is very emotional, and he's constantly pulling his punches. He just constantly is, except when it's like life and death. Like during Seismic, he's not pulling his punches. He was just outmatched. But like sometimes when he's fighting like people like Multi Paul or even like some other people, he's constantly pulling his punches. He could be like Oliver, where he can just like
that
eviscerate people. He could be like Oliver.
That said,
he's not doing that.
When he does throw a punch, I'm like, oh fuck, are you okay?
Yeah, right.
There's a great like 6 to 8 minute opener that's just music of like these two guys that are villains.
I love that.
They try to like
episode 3, yeah.
Try to live an honest life, but it's not working out. And they ultimately they lose their house and they fall back into crime. It's sad, and you like understand the situation. And then Mark comes in and beats him up, and I'm like, oh no!
He just comes in.
I don't like it.
But it made sense. But Mark didn't like kill them.
No. But again, that was one of the shots where like he punched him into a wall, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah. But even Oliver was like punching them. I'm like, stop it, Oliver.
Oliver scares me.
Oliver. The show is so smartly written. I say show, but based off a comic book. But like, Robert Kirkman, who wrote the series, very smart to establish so many converging but like interconnected themes here, where Mark is constantly pulling his punches. He's not being what Cecil fears. Cecil keeps on saying like, you can either be the good guys or you can be the person. Oh, what's the quote? I gotta find the fucking quote.
We could be the good guys. The guys that save the world.
And Mark, as the main character, he's obviously going to be the character that can do both. You can do both, Cecil, but like,
but it's hard.
Mark has to grow into that, and I think that's what Mark's trying to do. Like, Mark has always been the guy that is trying to do it all. It's kind of like the Spider-Man thing, where it's just like, well, what if there's like the Miles Morales across the Spider-Verse thing? Like, what if there's a second option or a third option? Like, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to do my own thing, right? Like, Mark's going to do his own thing here. He's going to be the guy that can do both at the end of the day. However, what Cecil was afraid of is evident in a character like Oliver. And it's so interesting because Oliver is right there and Mark's trying to teach him the goodness. And I think going back to another great character, Debbie. I love how this show is constantly giving us Debbie stuff because Debbie is what makes Mark and hopefully eventually Oliver different from Nolan, from the Viltrumite upbringing. What makes Mark different from Nolan? Why didn't he become what Nolan wanted him to become in season 1? It was because of Debbie. Like, he got a lot of his stuff from being a nice person because of his mother. Oliver is constantly not just having Debbie, but he's also having Mark bear down on him how to be a good person. Is there going to be a lot of trials and tribulations? Yes. Is Oliver going to eventually be evil? No. And that's because he has Mark and Debbie at his side. I think we saw Oliver hit rock bottom this week, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I don't think Oliver's going to be like a secondary antagonist or anything. I think
it's
just a hurdle.
You can absolutely see why you would want Cecil to like intervene at this early age of Oliver, because if you're not guided in the right way, you could become Omni-Man. But
Cecil doesn't guide these heroes.
No, he doesn't. He makes weapons that can service him and puts contingencies in them, as we see with Mark later.
Oh no!
But that's why we needed such an important character like Debbie, because she instills that nurturing nature and that empathy. Granted, Mark is sometimes pushed too far, and he does get that from his dad, and it's like pent up rage because Mark is a hurt character who is betrayed and lost like that other half of him that he feels he gets his specialness from with his powers, which is his father. And that was a whole arc of processing in the second season. But I think Oliver, we have a good shot here. Although it's interesting that every time we talk about like the different aspects of like Oliver's so young, he's so young, like you didn't get your powers till you were 17, like he needs time to grow and be a kid. I'm like, yeah, that's true, but also he's, from what I'm getting with the timeline, he's only been here like 3 months and he's like 10 years old. He ages fast, not as fast as the bug people, but he ages fast, and that's gonna be like a big thing to face as well. He's gonna be a grown up before we know it.
This is a tragic thing coming because the lifespan of that civilization is very quick. It's like
he'll probably live, because he's half human. I think Oliver's probably going to live about like 30-ish years.
Good, but which is sad still. That like eventually, Mark who has Viltrumite blood will live a lot longer than all these other people too. Either way, I think
Yeah.
Viltrumites live a long time as well.
Mark's still aging, of course, but like he's gonna age slower. But Oliver aging faster, it's like that. That is a sad perspective.
It's a sad perspective, yeah. I don't think we'll see that in the series itself, but it's just sad to think about for sure.
I don't know, because like we are also like of the central theme of humanity, and part of a big thing about humanity is realizing like how little time we ourselves already have of trying to experience life and take things slow. But Oliver has even less than us, so things would hit even more so, especially with how much attachments he develops. You know, his mother's species did too, but they are able to process these different concepts super fast. Like Oliver's gauging in the same sense of any other kid that you're raising, and that is such a monumental thing that they have to process and be aware about. Which is why I love the scene that me and Em are going to talk about when after he learns the consequences of death and killing. It is such an important thing. It's something I think we'll talk about right now. But yeah, I'm just kind of starting to segue into what Oliver did.
Yeah. Oliver. So what's interesting about Oliver is that he's getting a sped up version of Mark's origin story here, and but Mark never really had to grapple with, murdering people. Oliver has like the influence of Nolan and not really recognizing Nolan's like legacy here. Oh, Nathan, can you hear me? Did I lose Nathan here now? Right when I come back. But I'll keep on talking. But yeah, but when he beat up the Mahler twins here, which is wild. And this is again after, or even before and after, he was comparing himself to Nolan and saying, what was so bad? What was the bad deal about Nolan? What did he really do that was really wrong? Like, he hasn't really grappled with that. He hadn't seen that. He wasn't witness to that at all. It's just Mark and Debbie. But yeah, him letting loose on the Mahler twins, which have been a consistently fun twin group character dynamic. It was hard to watch. It was shocking as hell. Because the Mahler twins have been through so much. I think like every season they get locked up, beat up, or like thrown in jail, cloned, whatever. Some craziness, some time stuff last season. But either way, the Mahler twins have been through so much. But I don't think they're getting back from this one. I think that tragic beat up by Oliver was very hard to watch. And yeah, again, I don't think they're getting back from this one. And the look of Oliver getting drenched in their blood was insane. Just insane to watch. You're back. Great.
Okay.
I was talking about like Oliver getting drenched in blood from the Mahler twins and how horrifying of a shot that was, and how he said like, "Well, Mark, I'm sorry." Like, it was scarier when he was lying to Mark, saying like, "I don't know what happened. I'm sorry." It's like, no, one was like scurrying away, and you continue to pound them. So, oof.
Yeah. That was wild. And like later when they both go up into the sky, Oliver's like, why are you being mad at me for me coming to save you? Like, we already established the situation after you came to save me and I was out and fine. You killed them after the fact.
After the fact. Like, it was not necessary at all. And I was just telling the audience, Nathan, like, it's crazy how much the Mahler twins have been through so much. And now they're like probably gone, at least in this universe. There's always a multiverse stuff.
But I think those were the last 2 copies of the Mahlers. Oh.
That's sad. They've been with us for a minute now. Every season, we had the Mahler twins.
They never improved, but they were fun to watch.
Never. But yeah, they were always fun to watch. And yeah, it just goes to show like his lack of restraint. And I was telling the audience too, Nathan, about how his unawareness of like what Nolan's legacy is. He's constantly saying like, well, what's so bad? I could just be like Omni-Man, Kid Omni-Man. It's like you can't be Kid Omni-Man. Like no. But he doesn't get it. He's like, why are you so like afraid of like what Dad did? Like, Dad, like, is it bad to defeat villains? Like, make sure they don't come back. Like, what's going on, Mark? It's like,
and
man,
that was such a big issue, and it also does like speak to a child's mind as well, especially when that looks to a father figure or a parent figure that they love and they did not experience their wrongdoings firsthand or were negatively affected by them. They just know the love that they were raised on. So when Oliver says like, yeah, I know he hurt people, but he said he was sorry. Like, isn't that enough? And, you know, we are aware, like, no, it will never be. But
no.
It is unfortunate to try to reconcile this with this kid to be like, it's you because it's so hard. You can't just be like, no, your dad's a monster. Deal with it. It's not that simple. It's never that easy.
Yeah, but it is interesting. I'm just thinking about it now. Not just thinking about it, but like we're getting the Viltrumites coming. This whole notion of morality, kill or be killed or don't kill. In Mark's case, we don't kill, we don't kill, we don't kill.
Yeah.
When the Viltrumites come, Mark's going to have to kill some Viltrumites, right? Like these people are the most brutal people on the entire universe. The galaxy is a Viltrumites. If Anissa comes back, you're not going to kill Anissa, Mark? She nearly killed you. Like, what are you going to do? Break her legs and arms? But we did see Mark fight against the Viltrumites on the alien planet. He nearly got his ass kicked. He was unable to kill them, but he did like beat them up a lot, I think, right? Or did something happen?
Did he kill got some licks? He got some licks, and I don't think he killed one of them particularly. I think Nolan got them all. Yeah. But ultimately, Mark's gotten stronger since then, and I think he's going to continue to get stronger. I think that's just inherently the hero's journey he's set on. But yeah, hell, even like what was the Viltrumite that he ran into? The woman that came,
Anissa.
I feel like some seeds were starting to be sowed in her as well. I mean, she's still clearly like very much just all Viltrumite mindset, but she was grappling like I think with some ideas of like why is Earth like so caring? Like maybe it could build up to something of like, well, maybe there is something here. I don't know. We'll have to see if they give her more screen time to do stuff. But as is, yeah, Mark's going to have to get his hands dirty for sure. It is also a very compelling situation to wrestle with the fact of like killing's wrong. I acknowledge it's wrong, but then people call Mark out for killing Anstrom Levy. But he's like, oh, it was an accident. I didn't mean to. But you know, Mark was lost in blind rage at that point, and you know, can you guarantee that won't happen again?
He can't. But yeah, so let's jump into the big episode 2 stuff. Going backwards a little bit here. Episode 2 is one of my favorite episodes of the entire series. I think episode 2 and episode 3. Episode 3 started off great with the silent film stuff. The rest of the episode was really good, but I think episode 2 as a whole was just peak. Just incredible character work there with Cecil, Mark, thematic, contrasting morality. Episode 2 starts off with Cecil's big flashback where we see him being a normal agent. He goes into the club or the record store area, and he gets like not surprised because he eventually was like, when I said there was nothing in the box, like that was tell for them to come in here and help save the day. But either way, there was a bomb he didn't see coming, and his body, Nathan, holy shit, like turns like the acid really just melts his entire skin off as he tries to hold it off the blast. Like
it was terrifying. That said, I really liked the little detail of like it looks like they kind of like messed up your face though, but we can fix that. And he's like, no, I asked them to do that because this was all they had to pull from my original flesh, and I want this to stay as a reminder.
Exactly. It was a reminder just like to quote unquote like never forget, basically. Never forget like about, and specifically about like not just taking risks, but just he has to remind himself to do whatever it takes. And I think he sticking with that sentiment.
He was a lot more optimistic than present day Cecil because, you know, his director says like, yeah, you literally saved thousands of lives by what you did. But he's like, well, how many did we lose though? 17. But, you know, comparatively, that's a good day. And it's like, yeah, but do the victims' families think that way?
That was great. That was great. And let's continue with that flashback there where Radcliffe eventually comes under attack. And who saves the day? It's that Iron Fist-esque group. What do they call it? Knuckle Buster and the other girl. They come in and save the day. They save Cecil. They save Radcliffe. But Cecil still shoots them in the head in cold blood. And I'm like, oh, shit. But it's very much like Mark. He has the same Mark perspective where he's like, what do you mean Radcliffe was trying to reform them to help save us? Like, no, they killed 17 people. They deserve to die. And that's how Cecil was acting like. Cecil then gets thrown into prison. And without any kind of superpowers or whatever, anything, he puts that prison in lock, like under his command. It was a very short sequence, but you could really just tell the power, the social power that Cecil holds. And it's here that Radcliffe, says like, you passed basically your test. And I want you to come in and replace me. But by this point, Radcliffe had lost his eye and stuff. So again, he and this is where he first learns the lesson of, he tells Cecil, Radcliffe does, that, hey, you can be the good guy or you can be the guy that saves the world. And this is what really is imparted on Cecil after Radcliffe passes away. Radcliffe, or when Radcliffe dies, Cecil becomes the new head chief of whatever. Do we know how Radcliffe dies? Do we see that, or they just pass and say he died or whatever?
I think he was,
or he just
retiring or relocating.
Relocating, I don't know.
Because he picks Cecil as his replacement. Yeah,
he picks Cecil as a replacement, and I love the whole. Cecil gets introduced to the clone sidekick
Donald,
which is really cool. He meets Nolan for the first time, and I love how they're just like automatically sus of Nolan. Obviously, they can tell Nolan is lying, but they're like, let's just put this guy in a long leash and watch everything he does.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. It puts the season 1 Cecil in a different light for how much he trusted Nolan, but also how much he didn't trust Nolan or didn't like. And even if he did not trust Nolan, there wasn't much he could do. But all this is happening, this great flashback, concurrently with what happened at the end of episode 1, where the Reanimen plus Dark Knight come save the day against Seismic, Mr. Seismic, whatever his name is, Doc Seismic.
Yeah.
Mark and Eve are powerful, but they're not powerful enough to fight alien creatures that have been, they're hardened against the like molten changes of the Earth's core, so they have a lot of defense basically. So they get overrun, but then Dark Knight Reanimen help save the day. They win basically, but Mark is livid at Cecil, and this is where the whole flashback originated, where he's like, Cecil, we need to talk. And the whole time, I love how Cecil just walking with Mark angry at him, walks into the white room like, what's going on here? It's peak. It's great voice acting from Juan Goggins and I'm blanking, Mark's voice actor, Stephen Yeun.
Yes.
Fantastic voice acting, seeing Mark's anger escalate here, and he's like, let's just talk, Mark. And Mark's just livid. And this is where it's interesting. Like, is Mark going to attack him or not? But before he can do anything, the Reanimen appear, and Mark starts going on a rampage against them. And then there's, like, as you mentioned earlier, the ear device, which is just like, ew, not great, not great at all. There's an inner ear sonic device or whatever that immediately puts down Mark, and Mark makes his way to the Guardians.
Yeah, they got it from when he encountered that monster in the ocean that really messed him up from that roar. So they got that recording of it, plants in his ear, and not only does it incapacitate him while making it painful, but it also like messes up his flying because he needs the hearing to be able to balance himself during flight.
It's crazy. That one sequence of him just like traveling, and he's like, "Fuck it, fuck." Like it was so cool.
I saw the original comic and all that.
Me too. That was really cool. It's like, shit. Apparently in the comic, he like Cecil has like portals and not like lightning teleportation.
Yeah.
Which is weird. But yeah, overall, he makes way to the Guardians. This is where things gets even crazier. And I'm sitting here like a fly on the wall, like, oh my gosh, because the Guardians are like, yo, Mark, what's happening? Oh, Cecil, what's going on? Oh, like there are two friends here are beefing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I just want to talk to Mark. And my Mark's like, but this guy has a ring in my head. Then like, wait, Cecil, why are you doing this to Mark? Just stop it. He's like, I'm not stopping it. It's like, oh my
He's
God.
trying to hurt all of us. No, I'm not, you idiot. Cecil's very level-headed, but he's like, I'm tired of this.
Yeah, Cecil was level-headed the entire time. And Mark's like, he has a ring in something in. This is what really like changes the Guardian. Because you're like, Cecil, just turn it off. He's like, nah, I'm not turning it off. I'm good. And then, of course, they attack the Reaniman. But this is where we get a civil war here. They're divided. And the Cecil and stuff and Mark are divided. So, now I got to ask, Nathan, where do you stand? Are you in the middle here? What's going on here?
No, I went with team. I left.
Divided we stand.
But it is unfortunate how things like leveled out. There was an interesting point where what's the name of the girl who multiplies?
Multicate.
Yeah, she
duplicate.
Yeah, Kate. She was saying like, "Hey, I put my life on the line just like you guys." And I was like, "Hold on."
Now pause.
You have a hidden copy that no one knows where it is. This is not the same. Bullshit.
Yeah, I love when Rachel was like, "Fuck that!" Like, what are you talking about? Like, I keep forgetting how brutal Rachel was. Like, I thought she died when she went in that person. She just didn't.
It was bad.
Oh my God! Like that.
I was so happy to see her looking okay because I was like, "You got fucked."
Like, didn't she go inside and then like she couldn't like?
She was like,
grow?
Yeah, she couldn't get out, and then she like grew but stuck inside, and the dude just fucking like crunched her from the inside, full mass. It's terrible.
That was wild. And then Rex, of course, was going the fuck off. Lost his hand.
Yeah. He got shot in the head.
Shot in the head.
I don't know how he made it.
That was insane. We need our Rex like special episode between season 3 and season 4. I would love that. Apparently, there's a lot of Rex that we haven't gotten yet too either. But yeah, I'm just man. As I said in other places, but I think Mark's. It's so interesting because I keep saying Mark's always going back his punches. Mark has Debbie. Cecil isn't really like Cecil trains Mark, but as a weapon. He's not really emotionally there for Mark. But Mark is rightfully angry. Yeah, as an audience member, I'm like, Dr. Sinclair, it's like having a Nazi scientist who murdered people, but they're like, hey, he's a smart guy. He can build stuff for him. I was like, there's other people that can do this. Why do we have to do Dr. Sinclair?
This is how we got Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right? It's like, there's other smart people. Dr. Sinclair isn't the only person that can do this. Yes, reformation is important. He's like, what am I going to do? Just throw them in prison so they can die? For some people, yes. But like, I get where she's coming from. Where it's like, any opportunity, any chance I can take that can help defeat Viltrumites, I need it.
I would argue get all of his research and then put a good smart mind, like the smartest mind you could find on it to go through the research. Like, yes, it's barbaric, but they can take the science of it and be like, okay, apply it here.
Bingo. How hard is that? Like, come on. Like, there's other intelligent people.
Granted, we're desecrating corpses, but at the same time, it's like, this is still better than just like allowing the awful villain Nazi person to, sit probably more comfy than most.
Even Cecil mentioned like, well, the corpses are now like, donated or bullshit or whatever. Like, they're not like stealing shit, but it's still wrong. Dr. Sinclair, we saw him last season. He's still working for Cecil. But then we also have Dark Knight, which I think Dark Knight is a bit more reasonable, where Dark Knight murdered people in like his Shadow Realm place in season 2.
He was going mad there, right?
He was going mad. He did murder people, but it was in the name of like justice, at least. So I don't agree with Mark fully on that, and he shouldn't just rot in prison after that. I like, okay, Dark Knight could definitely be reformed. Sinclair, you can just, as we said, we just talked about it. But yeah, so it's interesting for that. And again, Cecil kept on saying like, well, we can again. I don't have to be the good guy. I can save the world. Like, no, there isn't just a binary line though for Cecil. And I wonder if Cecil's going to learn that from Mark. Hopefully, but this divide was interesting. Where I fully understand where Mark's coming from as well. I understand where both are coming from. Whereas Cecil will be an idiot not to be prepared against Viltrumites. But does he really need that inside Mark's head specifically? Like, yes, what you're doing is against Viltrumites. Good. Awesome. You're crossing the line for me when it comes to Mark. Does Mark need that thing inside of his head? Do you really not trust Mark after all these years? And I get it. Mark is like fronting him, like, what you gonna do, bro? Cecil, what's happening? Like, that's terrifying. I love Cecil's like, I'm scared, Mark. Like, that was like, oh shit. Like, you're coming up to me. Like, Cecil admitted, like, look what you're doing to me. Like, I'm like, yeah, I am scared of you, Mark. So what? Like, come on. I'll be dumb not to be. So I understand where Cecil's coming from. But Mark, having things out of his head, completely breaks everything Cecil's trying to say here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you are just treating us like weapons. So I understand where the team is coming from. But also, even though I hate Immortal, what a character I just love to hate. I hate that guy. Awful guy. Like, what's wrong, guys? Like, go on, just do your orders. If you ain't gonna do it, then just leave. And I'm like, what? We're already leaving, Immortal. Shut the fuck up. Like, I hate Immortal. I hate Immortal to death. Bitch ass always getting his ass kicked too. You suck, Immortal. And he's going out with Kate. It's just weird. But then
how old is Kate?
I don't know.
This vampire rules where like the age gets thrown out the window.
Exactly. So yeah, it was just it was so interesting. Where I understand both of them, and I understand where like Eve and everybody's like, man, we trusted Cecil. Even Debbie's like, I trusted him with you, Mark, and he put that inside of your head. Like, that's invasive as fuck.
Yeah.
So it's just such a complex morality here, and I love how the show is dealing with this so far. I think episode 2 is just, I was enthralled the entire time. It was so good. Sorry, that was just me ranting, but it was a great episode. I loved it so much here.
Absolutely. When does the next episode come out?
No, now they're doing individual episodes coming out every Friday. So episode 4 is just episode 4 this Friday. Also, some small tidbits. Robot claiming he joined Mark to be on the right side because he was like, because the Mr. Sampson was like, just tell Monster Girl why you wanted to join her. He's like, no, actually, I wanted to join to be on the right side with Mark. It's like intellectually, like Mark's on not morality or anything like that, but he's just like, Mark's getting stronger by the minute, and I'm gonna join Mark's side, the winning side, basically. That was a great scene there. Mr. Lou. Yeah, both can be true for sure. Mr. Lou arguing with Titan. We see the return of Titan in episode 3. The guy with the stone face saying he wants Multipaw ordered out of prison because he works for this order gang. I'm not sure what the order, presumably some evil organization.
Crime syndicate
kind of stuff. So Multipaw is in prison, but he could be freed. And Titan eventually relented, like, man, I can't get the order mad at me. So I still love how we're getting a lot of these crime politics in this show as well. Mark's new suit, I love the blue and black. Awesome.
Yeah. Although I do miss the first costume, I'll be real.
Yeah. But I love the blue. I love when you put some black on, I'm like instantly love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, Eve stuff is amazing. Darkwing talked about that. Alan the Alien, Cecil. I think that's about it. There's a lot. There's like 50-minute episodes each time, so there's a lot. And of course, the Debbie talking about Mark's identity to her boyfriend, awkward, but I get it. She's flawed, but she's just doing her best. She's a great mom. I love the Debbie character in general.
She deserves to be happy.
She really does. She really does. The Invincible joke was hilarious because they couldn't tell because of his new outfit. That was funny.
That's insane.
But yeah, and that seems to be it here. I'm excited to see what episode 4 is about. At the end of episode 3 teased that there's somebody watching Mark, and he blew that up. I was like, is that one of the Viltrumites? Is that? I don't know.
Do you not know?
I don't know. Do you know?
I know.
Oh, who do you think?
The closed captions confirmed who it was.
Oh, who was it?
It's Angstrom Levy.
The guy he killed?
Yeah, one of them.
Oh, duh. There's like multiverse shit going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so Angstrom Levy coming back.
Yeah, he's the one with the orbs watching Mark.
Got it. Interesting. Trying to come up with any theories. Even I watch with subtitles all the time. I didn't see that. Weird.
That's wild.
So yeah, Angstrom Levy's back. Presumably it'll be pretty tired writing to say like, oh, this guy's out to kill Mark. So for as much as he's spying on Mark, he's probably not out to kill Mark. My main theory would be to help Mark against the Viltrumites.
I don't know, because I could also see
keeping an eye on the one Mark that's not evil.
Maybe, but I could also see it being like a thing of like being reinforced with the mindset of like, all right, maybe Mark isn't the problem, but the Zolver kid might be.
That could be a thing as well. I think this Langstrom Evie is going to be less like, I'm going to kill you all.
Why is he watching in secret?
Because he doesn't know, right? I think he's trying to see like, oh, is this Mark going to save us? Maybe, I don't know. You just told me this news. I'm trying to bullshit.
Yeah.
So that's about it. So next week we're gonna talk about 3 episodes of 6, 7, and 8 for Spider-Man, and then episode 4 of Invincible, and any other movie news that happened this week. Movie and TV news. So it's exciting. I think we're trailered out.
Trailered out. However, we are also doing weekly commentaries for Andor.
Yes, we had so much fun doing episodes 1, 2, and 3. The first arc of Andor, man. What a great show. You know, we never really talk about Andor, but it's a great show. I'm kidding. We talk about it all the time.
That's doing some pretty good numbers right now for us.
Is it? I didn't even look.
Comparative. I mean, nothing. Under 100, but whereas our live views are usually like in the lower 10s. Well, we're at 58 right now. It's pretty good.
Pretty good. And probably escalate as we get to No Way Out.
Right.
So are we doing what? Are we doing 4, 5, and 6 this weekend, or what do you think?
Yeah, because that's one arc.
Okay, 4, 5, and 6. And yeah, 4, 5, and 6 for Andor, and then that'll be it. And then what? 7 and 8, and then 9, 10, 11, 12. I forget how it goes. We'll figure it out. But you guys can find me on Twitter, Harris EV9. Recently I haven't told anybody this. I had to change my password the other day. I was just tweeting, and then I got logged out, and so it said somebody was in my account, and it was like from I was like, what was the IP address? It's from like India or something. I'm like, the fuck? So I just changed my password.
Get out.
I changed my password and and everything. I got so scared. I'm like, I am not deleting my account. I'm gonna burst the walls.
Yeah.
So minor jump scare, but everything's fine now.
It's the worst.
But yeah, Harris EV9 still trying to get Castlevania Nocturne season 3 renewed. Netflix is scared me. We've reached the 1 month arc, 1 month timeline, and the Dietz brothers, the people who are in charge of Castlevania, they're like, this is where Netflix is looking at the 1 month viewership, see what's going on here. I need it badly, Nathan. I need it badly. I'm nervous. The streaming era, Acolyte has really got me like scared. I was so confident Acolyte was going to come back and Disney did some bullshit. Now I'm scared for Castlevania. But what else am I doing? Comic wise, the Batgirl comic, which is Cassandra Cain right now, is amazing. Really good art, really good writing. And the Psylocke comic, again, very, very good. So people are doing that. And I read the Kylo Ren comic. Awesome. Just an awesome first issue of the Kylo Ren comic. So issue 2, he going to Tatooine. So that'd be really cool. Issue 1, he went to Mustafar, and he did some murdering.
Is this circa Tross?
Between TOJ and Tross.
Nice.
So it's great stuff. But yeah, Nathan, what about you? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. You find me _ Time Blazer. Making a show called Time Blazer with co-star and creative consultant Evan Harris.
Playing Ben. who is more powerful than season 3 Mark? Putting that out there. I'm lying. I'm kidding. I'm not powerful anymore.
He kicked my ass. Pretty powerful. I mean, I don't like the power scale, but if I were,
we'll made it when somebody's making a power scale for Time Blazer.
Right. That said, do I say anything and give them power? Give the audience power?
Yes.
No, yeah, you're pretty good. Me and you. That's why we're the ones fighting. That being said, if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you like button, subscribe now, right? Ring the bell so you miss updates and all things movie, TV, comic. I don't know. That being said, hope you have a great day. Catch you guys next time.